great to have choices, its uniqueness. And I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into the happy hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I am Rico. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day to everybody out in Ticket Land. I hope you're enjoying your Wednesday, aside from, I don't know, some news that is, going around, swirling around. But I'm sure that you're having a wonderful Wednesday outside of that.
I know. It really sucks that Mike Williams is getting released from the Chargers.
The worst.
Why? What did Mike Williams do to get released?
But
don't fault that man for getting his money.
Hey, come on in. Come join us on the happy hour. Let's have ourselves a good time. You can join in the show. 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Starter Heyman
you're talking about
line.
Kenny Payne.
Definitely Kenny Payne.
Yeah.
The Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter /X, and channel 961 on Allo. Again, join in. You can talk with us about whatever you want to talk about. That's what we're here for. We will start off with something that is breaking in Husker, not breaking, but rumored to be breaking in Huskerland. Again, we're not going to speculate anything, but we are going to talk about it a little bit. And what we do know, which is not a lot, we'll hit on that. And that is the Trev Alberts situation, in which it is expected that he will take the AD job down at Texas A&M. Nothing official yet, so don't, keep all your horses in the barn. I don't know where I'm trying to go with that. I don't know where that was, but just relax, okay? Nothing's happened yet. It might not. We'll see what happens. I'm joined by the wonderful Austin Orman to my left. Austin, how are you on this Wednesday?
Great, Rico. How are you? How was the Lincoln Sports Foundation?
It was amazing. Look, I was talking with Terrell as it started. The kids, it was our third day there. The kids looked a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident in the drills that they were doing. And look, when I was their age, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't anywhere close to as athletic as some of these kids are. It was really impressive to see what they were doing. They had some fun, played some sharks in the middle. Some of those kids got wheels, man. They are moving out there. And then Farley and Vershawn dropped some notes of wisdom on the children, and they enjoyed every single second of that. And I got to talk with the owner of Trackville out there, which, look, if you have a son or daughter, if you have a child who is interested in track and field and you don't have anywhere for them to train, head on out there to the Lincoln Sports Foundation, head out there to Trackville, and it's an amazing facility out there with a ton of fantastic implements. And from what he was telling me, some amazing coaches out there. So head on out there if your child is interested in track and field, and they will get trained up perfectly. Not perfectly, but great.
I'm sure they could even coach me.
Probably.
Gangly legs, long arms, terrible lung capacity.
See what you're good at.
I still also believe that you jump over hurdles. So
you don't.
If they can teach me not to jump over hurdles, they can do anything.
Austin, we are friends, and I will fight you if you continue saying it.
I did hurdle for 1 year. So here's the thing. I was still 5'0" in 8th grade. So I actually did have to jump over the hurdles. I was not able to hurdle the hurdles. I actually had to jump them.
I'm 5'0".
You're 5-something.
I hurdled him.
I know you did, but you're good.
It's an extension of your running form. Don't make me fight you.
Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying in my head, it makes sense to jump over the hurdle, not to hurdle the hurdle. Which is, again, why I'm grateful for good coaches.
Some amazing coaches out there at Trackville.
Trackville!
Sports Foundation! But we are going to talk about, at this moment, we are going to kind of slightly talk about the Trev Alberts situation, the elephant in the room, if you will, as it was, how do I, like, it wasn't announced. It wasn't like broken, right? It was speculated, put in a news article. And
Houston Chronicle.
Houston Chronicle said that Texas A&M is looking at targeting Trev Alberts, Nebraska's current AD, to take over their athletic director position. Their open athletic director position. Expected to accept it. Trev Alberts is. But again, nothing from the University of Nebraska, nothing from Texas A&M University. But we got that from the Houston Chronicle. We got it on ESPN, CBS, 10-11. Other news outlets are sharing the story and giving their takes on what it could be, what it could mean, and if it is true and if it is not. And to me, the move, if it is made, doesn't make a lot of sense, because as an athletic director, no matter how fair it is, no matter how fair you think it is, they're tied to their football coaches, right? Mm-hmm. When you hire a football coach, if the football coach does well, you're staying there, and they're not going to move on from you unless you decide to move on. If football coach is bad, football coach leaves, athletic director leaves. That's just how it is. No matter how fair it is, no matter how unfair it is, that's how it is. Well, Trev Alberts allows Scott Frost to stay another year. Doesn't work out, fires him, hires Matt Rule. Matt Rule has a 5-win season with some sparks of hope. Brings in a very good recruiting class, including one of the, if not the best, highest rated
What's
recruit.
The difference, really?
Careful now, Rico. Careful now. The highest rated recruit in Nebraska recruiting history in terms of when they started doing stars and whatnot, in Dylan Raiola. And it looks like things are on the up and up for football. Men's basketball having one of their better seasons to date, potentially going to make the NCAA tournament for the first time in 10 years. Women's basketball, a runner-up finish in the Big Ten tournament. They're going to make the NCAA tournament once again. Volleyball, I mean, really, he didn't have to do anything with that. But again, they're in the Final Four. They're in the championship game, as they usually are with John Cook at the helm. Wrestling has sending 9 athletes to national championship. Track and field had multiple All-Americans. Gymnastics, men's and women's, having amazing seasons. Every sport that you can think of having these great seasons under Trev Alberts' watch, with him as the athletic director. Usually when that happens, when you have a university that's having as much success as Nebraska has on the athletic side of things, the athletic director just kind of sits back and is like, yep, look what I did. Even if they didn't do anything, look what I did. Look at what I have created. He didn't hire the women's basketball coach. He didn't hire the men's basketball coach. He did allow Fred to stay around another year, and look where that got him. He hired the football coach, and that's potentially going well. We'll see, in year 2. He made a couple of other hires, and things are looking up. Women's soccer making it to the NCAA. I think the Elite 8 is where they made it in the NCAA tournament. Softball brings back Jordy Ball, one of the higher rated recruits that softball has been able to reel in. I know it's a transfer, but still. And the rumor is that Trev Alberts might be moving on to a different university, who Texas A&M just hired a football coach. So he's not going to be able to make that hire. There's somebody in place who's going to start their first year with him there as a first-year athlete. So it's not even him tied to the football coach, which I guess I kind of get, but it's so strange to move on from your alma mater, potentially move on from your alma mater to go down to Texas A&M and a not first year, but first year at the university head coach with Mike Elko.
Let's connect these dots first of all. Texas A&M does not have an athletic director because their athletic director was hired away to Ohio State, who hired away Nebraska's sitting president.
Okay.
There's that. Ted Carter leaves Nebraska, hires Ross Bjork from A&M to Ohio State. Trev Alberts rumored to be leaving for Texas A&M. So there's that connection. Thanks for nothing, Ohio State. Thanks for nothing. Again,
shout out
shocker.
to the Buckeyes.
Cool. Congratulations. It's
for
your
doing
conference. We get it. The story doesn't make sense if you look at all those factors that you brought up. I completely agree. I posted a Twitter poll at Austin_Orman on Twitter. I want people to keep voting in it. But to me, there are really three ways that you can view this job. He left because of Nebraska. He left because of Texas A&M. He left for, what I'll call personal reasons.
Okay.
Which one do you think it is? Here's the thing. We're never going to get the full story.
No.
It doesn't seem like it would be because of the Nebraska athletic department under his watch with all the success you said.
Looks like it's doing really well under his watch.
Yeah, we know A&M has a lot of money, but Trev Alberts was already top 10 in the country in terms of athletic director salary. So it's not like he's getting that much more relative to his peers to go to A&M. He's jumping from the Big Ten to the SEC. Okay, sure, the SEC has had more football success. It's creeping ahead in men's basketball, definitely ahead in baseball. But if you think about the college football playoff being the big driver of revenue, it's the Big Ten and the SEC on that same level.
Both there. Who just won the national championship? Big Ten did.
Right.
I understand the SEC's won like all of the other ones, but still.
It's basically an equal platform, a Big Ten job or an SEC job.
Mm-hmm.
The job demands similar but different. Nebraska's its own animal. DP would know better than anyone here how different Texas is. It's its own animal.
I feel like Texas A&M is, yes, I understand that there are multiple universities in the state of Texas, but Texas A&M, if you look at that job, that's a different kind of crowd. Like that College Station crowd, that Texas A&M fan base is wild. Like I feel like that's pretty. I mean, you don't have the entire state backing you because you're the only show in town, but I mean, Texas A&M is crazy.
It is. Let's also just throw this out here at the top of the show. It's not because of the lawsuit.
It's not.
It follows him. He's being named. He doesn't just he doesn't have a get out of lawsuit free card by going to a different school.
It does not matter.
That's not how this works.
If he leaves the University of Nebraska, he was named in the lawsuit. It will follow him.
Yeah.
It does not matter if he leaves.
Well, you think about this too, from a different standpoint. You think about football or basketball coaches getting hit with the show cause penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're fired from their previous school, they leave their job. If they accept another job within the timing of their show cause penalty, they're still under the terms of the penalty. It doesn't go away. The lawsuit doesn't go away. And again, 3767, Nebraska has money relative to Nebraska, relative to some of the other schools in the area. Yes, we know Texas and Texas A&M specifically have more money, but is it really just about that? Because if it's really just about the money and getting a bigger contract, my opinion of Trev Alberts goes in the toilet.
He just, back in November, got an 8-year extension from the University of Nebraska.
Doubled his salary, and it was going to add another, $900,000 by 2026?
If he would have...
He's already top 10.
If he would have stayed around through, I believe I read early, one of the first 5 months of 2025, he would have gotten an extra $300,000. It was a 3 and a few zeros in there. If he would have stayed till 2025,
$3,000.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But an extra boost in his contract if he would have stayed until early months of 2025. But again, we are not saying that he's leaving because nobody has said that he is leaving. This is just a news article saying that is expected. Texas A&M expects him to take the job. The AP is reporting that he has not made his decision yet. So Trev has not made his decision whether he is leaving, whether he is going. But the Houston Chronicle has said that Texas A&M is expecting Trev Alberts to accept the AD position down with the Aggies in College Station.
This is the other part of this, is that who are we to stop this man from getting his money? Yeah, it hurts. I can understand how it stings. Chose to come play at Nebraska, has his number hanging on the stadium. On the one hand, I can get where, as a fan, it could kind of feel like betrayal. Like you chose to come here before, you chose to come back. I mean, it's not like it was an easy move to come down from Omaha to Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
The Mav fans love everything or how that went down.
Apparently the Mav fans are on social media being like, "Oh, we told you so."
Right. So he comes back to his alma mater. Cool, congratulations. Yeah, it's a big deal. But I think Nebraska fans in particular have a certain view on their alums when they come back home that, this is it. This has to be it.
You're back. You're never leaving.
You're never leaving. When sometimes that's not the case. I'm not saying Trev Alberts doesn't love Nebraska, doesn't appreciate Nebraska. Didn't mean everything he said at the time. Circumstances change. Thought processes change. And here's my overarching takeaway from all of this. We're never going to know the whole story.
Nope, ever.
We're never. Here's the thing. We can talk about all this conjecture. We can bring up narratives. We can try to connect the dots, but we will never know the full story. If, again, he officially accepts the job at Texas A&M, chooses to leave Nebraska, it won't be one factor. It won't be a lawsuit that would still follow him. It won't be just because of the money. It won't be just because of the status. And I don't mean this in a, there's some master manipulators, he's just a puppet on a string who's a marionette. Like, I'm not trying to go all conspiracy here.
That'd be fun.
But there are other decision makers, other stakeholders involved that have a say. Trev Alberts has bosses. Guess what? Trev Alberts hasn't had a president in place for 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Maybe it's something the Board of Regents did or didn't do. Again, I don't know. Trev Alberts does. So yeah, it stinks that he's leaving. I think he's done, at least outwardly, a good job. The program seemed to have improved under his leadership, but that's never the full story.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do have maybe an unpopular opinion, unpopular take. Yes, he did hire Rule. He did, give Fred another year to try and turn things around, in which he did. The other coach, there were some other coaches that he hired. I don't remember. I know he hired the new track and field coach, who I
Justin St. Clair.
There you go, Justin St. Clair.
Did a great job.
And there were a couple of other hires that were made, but
tennis
in some of the sports, that are doing really well, women's basketball, volleyball, wrestling, women's soccer, some of those other sports, he did not make hires. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but to a certain extent, him leaving is not going to crush Nebraska athletics. It's not going to take what the success that Nebraska has had and throw it all out the window. And all of a sudden, if Trev Alberts isn't here, then everybody is going to have a losing season. The coaches are still there. The coaches are still in place. I don't know how many players commit to a place because of an athletic director, but I feel like that's not a large number. So you're still going to get whatever recruits that you were going to get, or however that goes out. But if he decides to leave, if Trev Alberts decides to go to Texas A&M, Nebraska athletics, in terms of the success that they had this year and hopefully going forward, is not going to suffer because one man who isn't coaching any of those teams decided to leave. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or if I'm getting that completely wrong, but I feel as if what they are doing right now is going to carry on as long as the coaches stay in place, as long as the coaches and the athletes continue doing whatever they're doing to make themselves successful. So if he moves on, they hire a new athletic director, hopefully things go smoothly on all fronts, and the new athletic director doesn't have to make a hire until somebody retires.
That is absolutely the hope. But again, it's kind of chicken and egg to some degree, because do coaches need to, maybe not chicken and the egg might not even be the right way to phrase this as I think through it now, but just how important is the support of the athletic director to a coach? There are different ways that manifests itself. I think Scott Frost and Fred Hoiberg, just, the two examples that come to mind, had the same level of support in a lot of ways. Trev Alberts gave them the same opportunity. One coach it worked out for, one coach it didn't work out for. How much support from his athletic director does John Cook need? Think how many athletic directors John Cook's been through in his time at Nebraska.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think having a strong, supportive athletic director that gives you resources, that gives you time and inspires your confidence, tells you, hey, you're struggling right now. We believe in you. We're here. We have your back, is good for a coach in a struggling program or a smaller program that needs a confidence boost. But at some points, too, we've seen other athletic departments, not just Nebraska, go through multiple athletic directors, and some of their top programs keep rolling just because they're kind of self-sustainable after a point. That, to me, is the biggest issue here, is that Nebraska football isn't back on that perfectly steady, solid ground. So Nebraska football fans have to worry about this. Nebraska men's basketball is having a much better year this year. But Rico, you know it. I know it from seeing all the texts and the comments that people don't fully trust the basketball program. They love this team. They're all in on this team, but they want to see it again year after year after year.
If some of the fans had it their way, Fred wouldn't be here this year.
It's true.
So I completely agree with you, and that makes sense. You know, having a supportive athletic director, having a supportive athletic department would be all the difference in the world. I mean, I'm not going to go into that. We'll talk about that later. But no, it all makes sense. But again, as we started this and we'll continue to go, nothing is set in stone. He hasn't made a decision. Nebraska hasn't said anything. A&M hasn't said anything. Alberts hasn't said anything. There is no decision made, just a story from the Houston Chronicle. Everybody took it and ran with it. It was a great conversation we just had. All of you on the text line, thank you so much for all of your input. Please continue to text in, continue to call in. I'm sorry that we haven't gotten to the phones.
Is this Craig?
It might be. It's kind of far away, as you saw if you're watching the Honda of Lincoln, or if you're watching the Starter Heyman Jewelers live stream. I had to roll away to hit the button, so I think it's ringing on the other side.
Tumbleweed.
And we'll try and get somebody on that one. But again, thank you guys so much for joining in on the conversation. In the next segment, yesterday we were going to talk about NFL free agency. We didn't really get to it at all. We'll hit a little bit of NBA or NFL free agency, a little bit of an NBA corner because that, me and Austin like the NBA. We're going to talk about the NBA a little bit. I apologize for you people who don't like the NBA. First off, how dare you? You should watch the Knicks. They're fantastic. And then after that, we'll have the Chris crossover with Strick as we talk about, I don't know, whatever pops into Strick's head. But thank you so much. We're going to keep this going on the other side of the break. You listen to the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Happy Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Remember when I told you we were going to talk about free agency in the NBA? Yeah, I was kidding. We're sticking with some Trev Alberts news because supposed Trev Alberts, it's news, whatever. We're going to talk a little bit of Trev Alberts because, look, you guys have been fantastic on the text line, so we're going to keep it going with you guys. And this is actually something that I guess I didn't think about, but it could be, again, could be a possibility if it ends up happening. And this one comes from Cole M. And we were talking about the coaches and how even if Trev Alberts leaves, that as long as the coaches stay in place and the athletes stay in place, that Nebraska athletics should still be in a pretty good spot. Well, Cole M says, until he steals those coaches at A&M. That's a good point. It could happen. However, like we just mentioned, Mike Elko just got hired as the football coach there, so he's going to have 2 years. I mean, Trev Alberts is getting there at the same time that he is practically, and they're both going to be in year one under each other if Trev Alberts goes to Texas A&M. I have to keep putting that in there because I keep just saying that he's going there. If he decides to go to Texas A&M, he hasn't made his decision. So it's not like he's going to hire Matt Rule away to go to Texas A&M because he has somebody in place there. I don't know what their men's and women's basketball programs look like. Or what their coaches' situations are.
Buzz Williams is, Buzz is safe.
Buzz is good. So it's not like Hoiberg's going to go there. And also, Hoiberg just had a really good season, and I don't think he's going to be leaving anytime soon, at least under his own accord.
Isn't the funniest thing Jim Schlossnagle leaving A&M, and then all of a sudden, hey, Rob Childress, want to come back?
That would be wild. That would be crazy. But yeah, so Will Bolt is not like he's going to go. Texas A&M's in a pretty good spot baseball wise. So it's not like he's going to go back there. The other sports, I'm not 100% sure on Texas A&M's coaching situations. But I can tell you that I don't think Mark Manning is going to go anywhere. I doubt that he decides to go down.
Except his lake house because he deserves it.
Yeah, I doubt he decides to go down to Texas A&M to be the wrestling coach there. So I also understand that, Cole. But in terms of Nebraska's coaches, I don't think that they're in danger of losing them to Texas A&M. I'll say that. Losing them to Texas A&M. I don't know about other universities or anything like that. But at least to A&M, I think right now the coaching staffs are safe in that aspect.
I think so too. And I think Rule is the interesting one to look at here, because if you think about the last not quite 18 months in Husker athletics, Ronnie Green, out the door.
Bye-bye.
You think about Ted Carter, out the door. Trev Alberts, seems like he's open. He's pushing that handle down, turning that knob.
He's considering it.
Probably strongly considering it.
I say, so the
Rico,
thing is, like, it's being reported that he hasn't made his decision, which means that the decision is there in front of him.
Yes.
Which means that it's not speculation that he was at least offered the job and he is a finalist.
Correct.
So he just hasn't made his decision to leave or stay yet. So I think we're safe in saying that there is a good chance that he could leave.
There is.
If there's a decision to be made. Like,
let's also think about this. Who are the two guys that Matt Rule said were the most influential in getting him to come to Nebraska?
The two people who aren't here anymore?
Ted Carter, Trev Alberts. You think that Matt Rule, if the team is successful and if he gets another offer, isn't going to take that under consideration?
Yeah.
Advisement? Like, that's a huge aspect of this, is that I know a lot of Husker fans are disappointed with the 5-7 record. Again, no bowl game. But I also think that there's a healthy sense of like realistic optimism. Like, hey, we see the building blocks. It's the first time in a while we can point to this seems sustainable. This seems like it's on an upward trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you only have that guy for 3 years, which again has been the pattern for Matt Rule, a few years at Temple, few at Baylor, couple in Carolina, Matt Rule hasn't necessarily stuck around. And again, I'm not going to say he's job hopping or job shopping or whatever, but if Ted Carter and Trev Alberts were such big reasons that Matt Rule is at Nebraska right now, I can only imagine their departure would loom large if he continues to be successful and gets calls from across the country.
I understand that. I completely agree with that. However, I would say that the quote unquote job hopping was to better programs, better situations, going from Temple to Baylor, going from Baylor to the NFL, but then he got fired in the NFL. So that, you know, he had to find another job. He came back to college and ended up at Nebraska. I don't, and this isn't me being like a homer, I don't know how many football jobs that would be open and offer Matt Rule would be better than his situation in Nebraska if he gets it going. If he's able to turn Nebraska around and get it into a position where they're consistently winning, I don't know how many jobs out in the country would be better than that. There is one that comes to mind, but they currently have a head coach in place who has been doing a really good job for years, and that's Penn State with James Franklin, just because Matt Rule is from the area and a Penn State alumni. That's the only job that I would see right now, at least, if Nebraska gets going, that Matt Rule would decide if it opens up and they offer him the job that he would end up going to.
Would he want an SEC job in a couple of years? I'm with you that right now.
Yeah.
Yes. But in a couple of years, is that a guy that wants to make an SEC move? Because I don't think he's a back to the Big 12 guy.
No.
Does he go ACC and Syracuse down the road if Syracuse wants to make a big swing?
That's
Does he go, down the road to like a Boston College?
I mean,
as
those
a Northeastern guy, does he take the
such
Pitt
big
job?
Steps down? Don't you think?
Well, I'm again, depending on leadership. If he's not as comfortable with the leadership, does he decide to make that move? I don't know. And here's the other question we've gotten on the text line: is if Rule doesn't make the hire for athletic director, he'll leave. Well, it's not his job. The one thing we know about Matt Rule is he understands chain of command. He knows who his boss is. He's going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Does Matt Rule have input in the selection of the athletic director? Wouldn't shock me, but also, do we want that? Right? I mean, think about it in other terms. How well does the player choosing the coach go, typically? Not very well. In this case, Matt Rule's the player, and the athletic director is the coach. So, yeah, I think Matt Rule has input. I think Fred Hoiberg, I think especially John Cook, Mark Manning have input. I think you run the choices past your coaches. Hey, what do you think of this guy? What are your impressions?
Yeah.
What do you know about him? Do you know anyone that knows him? But I don't think it's a situation at all where Matt Rule says, That's my new boss, or I'm out of here.
That's the one. You have to hire him or I'm gone. No, yes, that makes perfect sense. I really like the idea of having all of the coaches. Definitely. It's not too hard. All of the coaches having some input, or at least running some of the options by them. Like, hey, this guy and this and that, just to find out, again, as somebody mentioned, just having that athletic director that has, that cares about, not to say that they don't care, but that cares and is very heavily involved in, all of the sports, going to the different sporting events and making themselves known, making their presence known, congratulating the coaches in person, talking with the athletes that are there, like making themselves known out there instead of just the athletic director high in the sky in their office, wherever that office is. Like it makes sense to have the coaches involved in not deciding, but having a say in who ends up running their athletic department. Like it would be crazy to have one coach make that decision. If you're to have although we said the football coaches and the ADs are tied to each other, having the football coach make that decision is ludicrous. It's crazy.
Here's the other aspect of this is, who would you prefer to make this hire? Would you prefer it be some council of coaches? Would you rather that all the varsity coaches at Nebraska get together and say, hey, we're the interview committee, you go through us? Or do you trust whoever the new president is? Do you trust the Board of Regents to go through that? Do you trust a search committee more? Because that's the way it's traditionally been done, right? If Nebraska wants to be different, maybe what it does is say, hey, we're going to hire a search committee. We want some names, some recommendations from these third-party people that think, about Nebraska from a slightly different lens than we do. Send us some names. And then what Nebraska could do is sit them down with all the coaches in a room, just the head coaches, and say, hey, we're your interview. You talk to us, you answer our questions. I don't think that's how it's going to work. And I also wouldn't be shocked to see this hire get dragged out. Because again, Nebraska does not have a president right now.
Nope.
It's been 7 months and they still don't have one.
Which is kind of crazy.
It is. And again, there's so many possible explanations for this. One explanation is, hey, they're just caught off guard. They weren't ready to do a search. So they're taking their time trying to find the best fit between athletics and academics. Ted Carter seemed really involved on the athletic side. Think about the extra oversight they gave him in that role not too long ago. So does Nebraska in a place where it wants to balance athletics and academics from the president's office? Were they just caught so unaware they're just starting the process? Are they trying so hard to hire the perfect person that they're not taking a good fit? I don't know. The other side of that is, were they caught unaware and just have no idea what to do, so they're just kicking the can down the road? I feel like having a president's kind of a big deal because the president is involved in hiring the athletic director traditionally. Like, you're not just going to have, again, the quote unquote players hire the coach if the coach doesn't know who their boss is going to be, because that leadership structure, I think all of us like to feel confident in the people that we're working for. So yeah, you always want to take that next step. You want to be the boss at some point down the road. But if you're comfortable being an athletic director, a big part of your comfort comes from knowing your president has your back, knowing the Board of Regents has your back. You're not going to take a job and not have anyone above you because you're like, well, crap, am I the highest ranking official right now?
Wait a minute. I think I've got all the power. Well, it's not like they were taken completely unawares, because there was I don't remember the exact month when Ted Carter announced that he was leaving for Ohio State, but they had a few months before he left, because he said by January he would no longer be the president. There were a few months where they knew he wasn't going to be back by the start of the new year, by the start of 2024. And again, I don't know how long it takes to hire a president. I don't know the processes that you have to go through. So I'm not going to pretend to know, if those months were enough to hire a new president. But it's been so long since Nebraska has, since they've had a president in place to replace Ted Carter. And when he had announced that he was leaving that November, as he was leaving in 2 months after that, he gave, Board of Regents and the president, whoever makes those decisions, extended Trev Alberts for 8 years.
8 years. That's an eternity.
And doubled his salary. So again, if you want to say it's about money, Texas A&M has to be throwing a boatload at him. If it's about
making plenty,
if it's about stability, you just got an 8-year extension. You just hired a new coach, and it seems like everybody's on board right now. I get it. Everybody was on board when Frost first started, but this one feels a little bit different with Rule. So I do not completely understand the reasoning for Trev Alberts. Again, we went into it with all of the success that they're having, but not having a precedent for 7 months seems like a pretty good reason. And again, the Board of Regents, the Nebraska, whoever makes the decision makers down there have had quite a long time to make a hire for the president position and still haven't done it. Again, I don't know what goes into it. I'm not going to pretend to know what goes into it or how long it's supposed to take. But it seems as if maybe he has an idea. Like, he should have an idea. They should have an idea of who they want to hire at this point, right? Like, it would make sense. But let's say Trev is gone. Let's just say he takes the Texas A&M job, right? And look, I don't know how many ADs you know. I don't know how many ADs you have in mind for this job, but I've seen 2 names pop up on the text line and on our comments section on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. And guys, keep commenting on there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. 2 names keep popping up. Jamie Pollard, right? Jamie Pollard at Iowa State, and where was the other one?
Greg Byrne?
Ed Stewart.
Yep.
Ed Stewart and Jamie Pollard. I know that Jamie Pollard was in the running towards the end before Trev was hired. And there were some comments from Jamie Pollard, and I think Iowa State extended him at that time. But I'm not going to say which one would be a better AD because I don't know. But I guess the text line, if some of you have any ideas on different ADs, you guys can for sure send them in. 402-464-5685. Send in some ideas for AD. We have one, an unnamed texter, 3292, says DP for AD. Look, DP's busy as it is.
AD for AD?
Yeah, why not? Why not? He's a good talker. That's all you need to do, right?
Jamie Pollard's interesting to me. Pulling him up, looking through his bio.
What he's done at Iowa State.
So he started, didn't start, but he was at Wisconsin under Barry Alvarez for 2 years, 7 years at Wisconsin. He's the longest tenured athletic director in Iowa State history.
Oh.
Which, again, 2 ways to view it. He's comfortable. He's happy where he's at. He's not leaving. He's good. Or it's time for a change.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State's in a really interesting spot right now. Just playing the Big 12 basketball tournament last night on the women's side. Ranked in the top 10 in basketball on the men's side. Football's the monster, though. Even at a non-football school like Iowa State.
Yep.
He kept Matt Campbell. Hasn't gotten rid of Matt Campbell. There's been a lot of pressure on Matt Campbell these last few years to take that next step, get over the hump. He hasn't. Does Iowa State hold that against Jamie Pollard for not making a move?
Would Iowa State be more willing to allow him to take another job instead of firing him?
Do they have a choice?
If
he resigns?
Matt Campbell doesn't work, I would say if he resigns and takes another job, I don't know the details of his contract, but I feel like that would save Iowa State instead of firing him if they decide to move on from Matt Campbell. As we said, football coaches, ADs kind of tied to each other. That would save them in money. And we got a couple more names on the text line. John Cook for AD, his name was in the running. I understand that was
Strick and I are going to have a whole segment on that.
But, well, you guys, I'll just give mine real quick. Would he be the volleyball coach and the AD? Would he stop being the volleyball coach? That's a lot, right? Like being an AD is a lot. Being the volleyball coach at Nebraska is a lot. I don't think he would do both. How many years does he have left being the volleyball coach here at Nebraska? Would he then take the AD spot, or is this just kind of a push, a kind of a kick, like, hey, if he's leaving, you're up. Here you go. Does he? I understand he was talked about it. Does he want to do it? That's something that you would have to ask him. And then another name that popped up, the interim AD for a while, Dave Remington. Although he's retired.
Yeah.
And I believe, I think I heard AD and Raph saying he's living in Florida.
Satellite AD?
Satellite AD.
Zoom only AD?
It would work.
Pretend it's COVID again.
Hey, he's good at his job. He's the interim AD. He did a great job.
He was fine. He was solid.
I don't know
Forgettable
what he did in
tenure.
this.
It
was short.
happened. Yeah. This is not going to be short. It doesn't shock me if this is a little dragged out.
If Trev Alberts leaves, how long, and this is a question for everybody, how long until Nebraska has a new AD? How long does the process take to get a new AD?
Does it take till new fiscal year?
When is new fiscal year?
July.
I could see it.
I don't think you can afford to have it wait that long, but it wouldn't shock me if it does. Because you have to hire a president. How do you not have a president in place to make this hire? Like, don't you have to have
this is terrible
one of those?
timing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Not that there's ever a good time.
Didn't Ohio State have an AD before they had a new AD before they had Ted? No, Ted was. He was announced.
Smith
as
had
the
announced
president.
his retirement.
Yeah,
and they already had the interim there learning under Gene Smith.
Okay.
Well, no, Gene Smith announced it. Ted Carter came in, then said Ross Bjork.
There you go.
So,
okay,
they did bring Ted Carter in to make that hire.
Yeah, it would behoove them to have a president in place before they make their next AD hire. Again, hasn't been announced, nothing official, just
trending
speculation, trending that Trev Alberts is more than engaged in conversations with taking the athletic director's job at Texas A&M. With that, we are going to go to a break. I saw Strick walk in the building. He's in the other room. We'll bring him in for the Chris crossover and get a little bit of his a little bit of his thoughts on this. I don't want to go too deep because I know you guys are going to talk about it in On the Block. So we'll bring Strick in for the Chris crossover here on the Happy Hour coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house-smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. It's gone to improve our environment, education, and state fair.
Over $900 million? That's something.
I'll say.
Hey, I have a great idea for a commercial. Have someone count to 900 million out loud.
That would take 28 years. Not a good idea.
I don't know, with a little background music and some sound effects.
There's another studio down the hall. Why don't you get started?
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. The proceeds have helped protect and improve Nebraska's environment, funded need-based scholarships for Nebraska students, and maintained and improved facilities at the state fair.
That's terrific. You should put that on your website.
It already is. Just click on beneficiaries in the menu.
Menu? You guys serve food too?
Maybe you should get off your feet for a while.
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies and more mild weather with an afternoon high around 71. Tonight, showers and storms are likely, the low around 48. And tomorrow, we'll continue to see scattered showers throughout the day. It'll be breezy and cooler with the high around 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cluck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Stop by TCA Outdoor Power on March 22nd and 23rd for an open house and customer appreciation celebration. TCA Outdoor Power is a locally owned business located at 6210 South 57th Street and prides itself on being Lincoln's only elite steel dealership for over 20 years. On March 22nd and 23rd, enjoy 10% off select steel products and up to $350 off on select battery tools. Also, if you buy 2 steel batteries, you can double your limited warranty. Give TCA Outdoor Power a call today at 402-420-9424 or visit them for their open house celebration, March 22nd and 23rd.
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs at a price that's right for you, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, an easy track lawnmower, or gator, every piece of equipment in pre-owned inventory is put through a rigorous inspection so it's ready to work hard for you. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything is sold meets their quality standards. Learn more at landmarkimp.com or stop into a local Landmark location and experience the Landmark difference.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I don't know which mics we're on. It's
3,
fine.
4, 5.
We'll figure it out as we go along.
Hey, Rico.
Oh, the mics are on.
We're joined by the new athletic director for Nebraska, Eric Strickland.
Hey!
Congrats, Stricky.
Yeah,
you
right.
accept? If they
I
offered
don't think
you,
I want that
Strick,
smoke.
if they offered you the job, would you take it?
The conference doesn't want your smoke.
Oh, no. I don't know if I'd want that smoke. Listen, it's I would love to. I've always loved Nebraska, and I would love to serve Nebraska in some capacity. I'm not a great politician. I don't think I do well. I don't think I do well with politics. I don't like politics because I'm very apolitical. Like I'm very middle of the road. You know, I assess, I look, I check, I observe, and then I make decision.
Perfect.
You
That's
know
what we
I mean?
need.
So I don't like, you know,
But
the
strict.
swinging from one side to the other.
But strict.
You'd
Get a box.
I'd be a great assistant.
You'd get a box at Memorial Stadium.
I'd be a great assistant.
You get a box down at PBA. You go to whatever sporting event you want to.
Oh, that would be beautiful though.
You probably, I don't know if this is true, probably have access to the private jet.
They don't want a guy like Stricky.
Stricky'd be a Big Ten
too.
Media Day. Strick, what would you say at Big Ten Media? Let's say you're the AD, right? And we're at Big Ten Media Days, and the first question somebody asks, they say,
Big Ten Media Day for football?
For football.
Okay.
And they ask, and they say, Matt Rule was hired by the previous AD, had a 5-win season last year, you know, hoping for more. How long is the runway? How long is the leash for a coach that you didn't hire, who, again, is going into his second year, but had another losing season to extend the streak for Nebraska football?
Well, in the assessment of the Matt Rule hire, I thought it was good for the program. I looked at Trev and I could assess a little bit that the runway for him, and my view on it is there's two types of aircraft. There's a F-16 and there's a Boeing 747. When I look at the Nebraska program, I would look at it from a standpoint of growth and ascending altitude to reach the same heights as an F-16, except the F-16 would do it in the flash of an eye or the flash of a light or whatever the case may be. Whereas the program in Nebraska has been long in the gutter, it's been long in the dirt, it's been long buried, and now it's trying to ascend out. And I think I look at it as a 747. Can have the potential to reach the heights, and I think that's what Matt Rule is looking to accomplish, and I would allow him the runway to do so.
Just got my vote. I don't make any of those decisions. You got my vote. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna send that to the Board of Regents. I'm gonna be like, I don't think you guys need to do any searching. I got him. We got him right here.
Yeah, right.
Down the block. Stricky walking in.
Man, that would be absolutely wild though. But I would be definitely suited and booted, and I would enjoy that. That'd
So you'd be ready to go.
I'd be ready to go. I think I'm, you know, being a socialite and a guy who enjoys getting out and networking and being around people, I don't mind that part of it. I think I just, sometimes I just hate the greasing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
That's the part that I just don't like. I think about it.
Yeah.
The greasing. But, you know, we're definitely going to talk about it on the block some. You know, I have some thoughts and perspectives on it, and I have some questions. And so I'm going to pose them out. The questions that I would have is they're going to be just posed in an open-ended manner to allow the listeners and those who love partaking in 93.7 The Ticket content, just to ask yourself those types of questions. And we're not going to get into the minutia of it and in any microcosms or any details, but we're just going to ask questions and just see what your thoughts are.
Well, Strick, that was amazing. Hey, you know what? Hey, when you get hired, we down here waiting for you.
Man,
first interview with AD Stricky. Right here.
No, you know what though? There's somebody.
Will you continue to do your show?
I would.
Heck yes. Good answer.
I'll say this, and I really like this guy, and I hope he would get into the pool of this next search. He bleeds red, and Ed Stewart. I would love to see Ed Stewart get back in the mix.
That is a name that was mentioned.
Where
on
is he at now is the question.
I know he was with the Big 12. I don't know if he's still down there. I think he became an AD somewhere. I don't know which school he was at, but that could be a great.
Fight on.
Oh, it could have been a great. Oh, USC?
USC.
Fight on.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Fight on. You ever seen Candy Cane Lane? Candy Cane Lane.
No,
it's got Eddie Murphy.
I played Candyland.
It's got Eddie Murphy. It's a Christmas movie, and it's funny just because like they talk about USC and they're just like fight on, and they're just doing that, and it's funny. You have to watch.
I want to do a quick shift though.
Go ahead.
What is the most when you're watching football on a Saturday, right? And you're different stadiums, and you're hearing the bands play. What are your two best fight songs that are played, or what are the two best or two worst and frustrating fight songs that they play after every first down or whatever the case may be? Like, what would you be the one where you're like, oh gosh, we gotta listen to this again?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I love Tennessee's fight song.
Rocky Top?
I love Tennessee's fight song. Love it. USC's fight song's just iconic because it's like it's like the one that they use for NCAA football. Yeah, it's in the open for NCAA football, and like you hear that one, and you're just like, yeah, like that one gets you going. Shout out to Florida State.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a cool one for me. Because the drums come in first, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one that I do like because it's our high school's fight song our high school based their fight song off of this one, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder you're a track guy then.
Yeah.
Go cheer for Bellevue West, cause we are Nebraska's best. Fight with all your might. Thunderbirds with this game tonight. Oh, you didn't like that?
He didn't like that one.
You didn't like that. Oh, okay.
I'm a Bell East guy.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, man. I used to get hyped.
Oh yeah.
When I'm in the football stadium or the basketball court. Yeah, come out to that.
That'll get you going. Get you going. Gentlemen.
I'm anti-Boomer Sooner.
Oh,
look, I'm gonna be honest.
I'm with you.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm with
you.
After
a while, but like the first time you hear it in a while, I like it a little bit.
No.
Just a little bit.
Anti-Texas fight song as well.
What has that go?
Dun, dun, dun. The eyes of Texas are upon you.
Off that.
And they all stand there in the end zone.
Off that. I'm off that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pro Northwestern fight song though.
You like that one?
It was Lincoln Lutheran, so got me pro.
There you go.
I'm rolling.
You're rolling with it.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, gentlemen, what's coming up on the show?
Good one. Good try. See you in a couple minutes.
Gentlemen, what's up? How are you guys doing?
We'll try to find some more angles on this whole Trev Alberts thing because funny, I don't think we've hit all of them. Hit a lot of them, but a couple other aspects of the conversations Stricky and I want to get to, including what if it's all just a ruse? What if he's not going anywhere? What happens then?
Ooh, interesting.
Speculation.
What if it's all just to get more money? I don't know. Well, Austin, thank you for filling in for Nicholas. He might be back tomorrow. I don't know. He might still be sick. We'll see what happens. But keep listening, ladies and gentlemen. On the Block with Austin and Strick coming up next. 93.7 The Ticket. Adios.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into